Welcome back to the Paddle and Fin Podcast Network. We're brought to you by Yak Gadget. For all your fine kayak fishing accessories, go to yakgadget.com. Pelican cases, coolers, and lighting. Go to pelican.com. And the 153 Bait Company. For all your hard and soft bait needs, go to the 153anglers.com. Now let's get this show started. What's going on? Facebook Live, YouTube. Woo! Woo! What's up, man?
What's up?
I missed you last week.
I missed me too.
Yeah, it's funny, man. I was gonna go to the convention center there at ICAST and do our show from there last week, and I got stuck waiting on an Uber after breakfast, and ended up doing it from the bedroom at the New Canoe House. But it went well.
I was hoping you'd actually be able to do it on the plane.
No, I wasn't going to do that. I'm sure that would have been expensive with the Wi-Fi and
It's
stuff
like
like that.
$5 for Wi-Fi.
I take that back. Like, I think
Nothing.
I flew Delta to Minneapolis for BowFest, and they did have like a Wi-Fi connection so you could watch movies and stuff. So I was doing that. But
that would have been funny to see you just like, people would have been like, what is this dude doing?
set up a mic like on the tray and everything. Like, sorry, can you keep it down, sir?
Yeah.
No sleeping, no snoring. I'm
like,
trying to do a live podcast here from 40,000 feet in the air.
Yeah, you're like, oh, wait a second. Yeah, I'll have a spray.
Yeah.
Like, no ice. You know?
2 more beers, Big Daddy.
Yeah.
Shout out to John Rapp. But no, it was cool, man. ICAST was a blast. I know Thursday coming up, not today, obviously, but next week, Thursday, the Final Cast is doing a show that they already recorded on ICAST products that they liked and stuff. And I jumped in with them towards the tail end and kind of gave a few tidbits on that. I won't spoil that too much, but
totally just wreck it.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
We talked about this, and this.
Oh. Now you don't have to listen to the show.
Yeah.
Sorry. No, it was really good, man. ICAST was pretty mind-blowing. That was my first time there, but super cool. Did a New Canoe show from the New Canoe booth with Blake Young. I streamed it on the Paddle and Fin Network too, so that was fun to kind of get an update from them on kind of like, we all know the status of the industry is just crazy right now with the supply and demand and not being able to get parts and plastic and things like that. So it was interesting.
Did you meet KVD?
I didn't, dude. I saw him. I was over in a booth where he was doing some stuff, and I was in a meeting as well. And I was hoping to catch him on the way out, but he ran off to go to another booth before I could do that. But I did meet Tim Little from Tactical Bassin up in the hallway.
Where is Tim?
He's a cool dude. Cool dude.
You gonna get him on the show or what?
Working on it. No spoilers. But no, I saw him and Matt Allen, but Matt Allen wasn't up there. Every time I saw him, they were in a conversation. You never want to be that guy like, oh, hey, man, can I get a photo? Like, he was up in the hallway waiting for somebody, and I walked by, and, I gave him kudos for Tactical Bassin show and stuff. And I was like, man, I love you guys. I love what you guys do. Keep up the great work. And then I was like, I should ask him for a picture. And the guy I was talking with, I was like, I got to get a picture with this guy. I was like, Tim, you got time for a photo real quick? And he's like, absolutely, man. Absolutely. And so I posted it up on my Instagram. It was pretty cool.
It's not like being like nearing your 40s and be like, dude, can we get a selfie?
Yeah. Yeah. It was a lot of those big names were walking around, man. I saw B-Lat, talked to Drew Gregory for a while. Man, Roland Martin and his son were both walking around. Tyler's Real Fishing was walking around. Saw him. I saw Alex Fulgaria. Just a ton of people, man.
You saw Alex?
Yeah, Alex was walking around.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he did a bunch of videos, going to the different booths and stuff. So, saw him. Saw B-Lat. I didn't talk to B-Lat. Roland said Roland Martin, who's
Mhm.
Jimmy Houston. Got pulled into an unexpected meeting and talking with a bunch of big wigs, and Jimmy Houston's right next to me, like working on a deal. It was that was crazy.
Probably like slipping a piece of paper and a marker over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're gonna sign that contract, sign this hat for me too.
Sign on the dotted line. It's right there.
So it was pretty funny, man. Good times, a lot of good memories. Looking forward to next year. So, yeah. How was your week, man?
It's been pretty boring. As we talked about before, my back was totally jacked up, the sciatic nerve issue, and so it's been 2 weeks of that agony trying to get through that.
You're so lame.
I know, so old. It's like, I did put the Yakima,
Oh yeah, you put the
rack
new
on
rack on the truck, man.
Yeah.
Look sharp.
So
Saw
I'm
it
happy to
today.
do that. That took like a little bit of time.
Right on. Right on.
But I've been laying low, man. I haven't really done much. It's
Sure.
Life's pretty boring.
Casey Starn says you're an old ass.
This is true. Thank you, Casey. Now the person we won't be talking to anymore.
He's always chiming in with some good stuff, man.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, we can block you too, buddy. Not that
I
you've ever
control the
blocked anyone.
keyboard, so you're good, Casey. Keep up the good work. I'll PayPal you 20 after it's over. He's 46 too.
Oh, technically you are older than me then.
By
That's
what,
good.
a year?
Shut up. Actually, we could just say a few days.
Yeah, pretty much. But we got an epic guest for you guys tonight, man. We got Cam Steele in the house from the Faith N Fishin podcast. We've been looking forward to collab, getting together and just talking about it, man. I listen to Cam's podcast, and he's had a bunch of our paddle and fin guys on there, and some other cool names as well. So yeah, man, check him out if you guys aren't listening. But like I told him before we started the show, I feel like every time I listen to him, he's like seducing me. He's got that nice, calm, cool voice. Like, yeah. So Cam, welcome to the show, brother.
Thanks, man. What's up? Killer new intro,
that's what I'm talking
guys.
about.
It's almost like he thought about how he was talking.
Yeah,
he was like,
he's conscious of it.
Hey
now.
guys, what's going on?
No, man, that's a new intro. That's not the final one. We've been toying around with a few things, so we figured we kind of throw that together and kind of preview it a little bit tonight. But we got a little bit more we're going to add and change and redo the voiceover. So thanks, man. It's pretty cool. We've been toying around with some new stuff.
I'll be a cardboard cutout soon.
Yeah. Yeah. So how's your show going, man? Like for those listening, like tell the good folks at home like what you're all about, what your show's about, how you got into kayak fishing, all that good stuff, brother.
Yeah, absolutely. So my name is Cam Steele. Y'all were talking about pro names a while back. If I ever go pro, I'm gonna have to start going by Cameron again and be Cameron Steele. But
Cam Steele, dude, that's kind of like straight to the point. That's a good pro bass name. I'm still screwed, but we're good.
Absolutely. But yeah, so I host the Faith N Fishin podcast. And I gotta say, if you ever start a podcast, make it easy to spell.
Yeah.
The faith, the letter N, fish, the letter N, with the different apostrophes and stuff. That was not a great idea. But but yeah, so what I do is I just have I have fishermen on and ask them about what they believe in, give them a chance to share what they believe in. A while back, I was listening to the Bass Fishing Dads podcast. They had Chad Hoover on. He mentioned his faith. A few other fishermen had what's up, Brad? A few other
Yeah. Sorry.
The Mohawk, man. The Mohawk gets me.
The face.
I know
the face
and
the Mohawk. It just all
Hicks, you definitely have that
he looks like he
your...
needs to be in a padded room. I'm just gonna leave it at that.
But yeah, so Chad was talking about his faith, and I was like, man, that would be a cool podcast. let fishermen come on and talk about what they believe in. And I don't remember who it was that I was listening to said, if there's content out there you want to see or hear and you can't find it, it's on you to make it. So I made it.
Nice.
Started reaching out to people, got overwhelmed with how many people said yes. Found out how difficult it was to schedule people once they said yes.
Yeah, we may know a thing or two about that.
Found out how much work a podcast is, and I'm loving it. But yeah, what got me into kayak fishing, I don't know if y'all have seen him on YouTube, but Marty Zoffinger.
Okay.
Yeah, he was known for like, or I guess he still is known as the guy who would take a really cheap kayak and turn it into an absolute beast of a kayak, with all of these crazy modifications that look professional that he does. And I was like, man, I could get off the bank and do that, because those aren't that expensive. And then I got one that wasn't expensive and found out why it wasn't expensive. I got into a Sun Dolphin Journey 10, and I'm not a little dude, so I about sank that thing. The first time I ever took it out, I took it out on the river while it was at flood stage, and it was like paddling on a treadmill. And it was all I could do to get back to the ramp. But ended up slowly upgrading. Now I'm in a Perception Pescador Pro, which is really awesome because I paddle and I don't have a motor or pedals, and wanted something that I could paddle quickly from one place to another. I tried a Pelican Catch 120 for a while that was so slow. Found out that taking an hour to get back to the boat ramp from a quarter mile away wasn't really great. So but yeah, I blame Marty Zoffinger for getting me into it.
No, it's cool, man. I just pulled up his channel here. I'll drop the link to it. He's got some pretty interesting things going on that channel over there. So
yeah, so now he lives on a boat and has a business down there with like kayak guiding and stuff. So
that's cool, man. That's cool. I like that. A lot of people are doing that stuff, man, whether it's living on a boat, in a van, down by the river, rooftop tents, like all that cool stuff, man. It seems like a popular thing nowadays, which is kind of cool. We got Brad Hicks chiming in. He's asking, what kind of mic does Cam use? It sounds really good. It's just his voice, dude.
It is an AKG P120.
Oh,
it was the
I got a P220. Take that, bro. Woo!
I went to Guitar Center and picked up the cheapest one that looked cool.
Yeah, right on. Yeah, I mean, this is a Guitar Center mic. Jay got a new mic.
Mine's from the Devil Amazon.
The Devil Amazon.
Hey, I work for an indie bookstore, so you got it right there.
Yeah. It's cool, man. I dig it. The mics, man, they're so crazy. They can get so expensive.
Yeah, it's like I wanted to get a Shure, but this was like the best thing. The second runner up.
Nicholas Beltran says I have a Frankenstrat. I like it.
Yeah, I know
awesome.
I know Sennheiser makes some pretty good ones that are pretty decent priced.
Trey Johnson says your mic looks like Grover from Sesame Street.
Yes, it sure does.
Yeah. It's like, it takes up like his whole face. It's like, hey, what's going on? It's great to meet you.
Oh, that's funny, man. That's funny. So, like you, it's funny you brought up what you heard from the, bass fishing dads. Like, if there's content you're looking for but you can't find it, all you got to do is make it. Like that's interesting, man, because that's pretty much how this whole shindig started over here. And now we have built an empire, but like, it's crazy, man. Because I remember when I got into the kayak fishing game, with Scott, who then was replaced by Jay. And
I was supposed to do something?
But you know, that was the thing. Like, we really struggled, like, on trying to find, like, really good content, you know, on, like, beginner type stuff for kayak fishing. And we're like, well, why don't we start a podcast and talk about what we're doing? And maybe we'll get some guests and, you know, see if they could share their knowledge and stuff like that, man. So it's kind of interesting, dude. And, you know, I love the format of your show too, because, you know, I think a lot of folks may misinterpret like your show just by the name, like, oh, this guy's just going to be preaching about Jesus the whole time. Not the case, dude. Like, you guys talk about fishing, you do talk about the faith side of things, but it's a nice even keel blend, and that's what I really like about it, dude.
Yeah,
I am a religious man, I will say that. So, like, you know, it's you know, I think a lot of people may have misinterpreted that, you know. And then I remember, I forget, you had Dan on first, right?
Yep.
From our crew. And I was like, Dan's holy? Like, what? I don't know about that, you know. I'm like, I got to see what kind of lies he's telling. And I really enjoyed it, dude. And I try to keep up. Like,
Well, I
there's
appreciate
so many fishing like podcasts now, and I try to keep up with them all, just to show the love, man. Like, I know a lot of you guys listen to us, and I try to return that favor, man, you know. And it's cool, man. I really enjoy it. And you know, you do a very well job of that balance, so to speak. So I guess,
I appreciate that.
The question in mind was like, was that how you envisioned it, or like it just came naturally that way?
Yeah. So my vision was kind of just to have a place to give fishermen a chance to tell their stories. Um, I didn't want to be up here preaching. I used to be a youth pastor, and I don't mind like sharing my faith and everything, but that's not what this platform was meant for.
Sure.
And I mean, like, if someone comes up and they say, I want to share my faith, but I'm a Muslim, come on the show. It doesn't say Jesus and fishing. It says faith and fishing. Come on and share your faith. You know, we can be respectful of each other and learn from each other. I've got a lot to learn from people who aren't Christians, and I'm not going to be so arrogant as to say I got a lot to teach, but yeah, I absolutely want to sit and listen to their stories. And I mean, if nothing else, we've got fishing in common, so we can talk about that at the end of the day.
Yeah, right. It's interesting, man, because I think you bring up a valid point. You know, it's at the end of the day, you know, with not to go down the political rabbit hole, but, you know, our country is so freaking divided right now, and doesn't matter what your views are, your beliefs, things like that. At the end of the day, we all have fishing. That's what brings us together. And I think if people had more things like that to bring us all together, we'd have less problems in this world. You know what I mean?
And if we had less politicians.
Yeah, well, that too. But so Cam Steele for 2024.
Oh, no.
He'd be like, my fellow Americans.
Dude, you'd win the vote right away, man. You'd just seduce America. There you go.
I tell you what, the guy who just popped up there, Nicholas Beltran, spoiler alert, next week, he's going to be on the show, and you want to hear what he has to say about the country being divided. It's awesome.
Yeah, he's a great dude. He's the one I did the podcast with last week from the iCast bedroom. But great dude, man. I was glad I got to meet him down at iCast in person, and we got to have him on the show. He's always popping in on our shows, chatting it up, and we love Nick, man. He's always showing us some love, dude. And I'll be tuned in for that one because I'm interested to see what he has to say, because he's a pretty level-headed guy. And,
oh man, he's so wise.
Yeah,
wise.
Yeah, for sure. I saw, dude. I keep seeing photos of that guy. Like, he got photos with everybody at iCast.
Yeah, he did. He was that dude.
He was that dude that was in the right place at the right time. What's up, bro? Why'd you leave me? You could have took me around with your with your, fancy photo shoot sessions. I'm gonna have to kick him out of the chat.
Yeah,
There
he's
goes
talking
Battle
too
Train.
much.
No, I'm kidding, man. But no, it's cool, man. Like, what's next for you, man? Like, what are you looking forward to the most, and like, what are you looking to grow your podcast with, and all that kind of good stuff, dude?
Yeah, so we just added a couple sponsors, which is really awesome. Been with Savior Outdoors for a while now. Starting to work on their blog some. So that'll be really fun. That's something I enjoy doing is writing. End up being a little bit wordy sometimes, but yeah. And just teamed up with Jade's Jigs. They make lead-free finesse jigs, which are pretty awesome little things. I'm still not a finesse fisherman by any means, so I'm still learning how to do that. But they're making it easy as it can be. And Get Outdoors here in. So I live in Raleigh, but in Greensboro, North Carolina. They're a paddle shop and they've got bikes too. So they're pedal and paddle.
Oh, cool.
But yeah, they're an awesome paddle shop. Probably, I don't know if it's the biggest selection in North Carolina, but it's got to be up there with them. But yeah, I got a chance to team up with them. Excited about what that can bring. Just added a new segment called "Learn from My Mistake." I've made a lot of mistakes. So now instead of like trying to teach you something, I can just tell you what I did and what you can do to prevent it.
I forgot about that. I heard that on that last show he's put up. I forget who that was with, but you're not right at the beginning of your segment, right?
Yep. That was right at the beginning. Yeah, so got some really awesome guests coming up. Like I said, got Nicholas coming up. Got Joey Doza from Jay's Jigs is going to be joining us. And got Shane Lamont coming up. That one was another really awesome conversation. So excited about a lot of the guests coming up, and a lot of the main thing right now is trying to get back to a consistent schedule.
I was just going to ask you about that. Like, how often are you posting up, and like, do you have a set day and time like you release your episodes typically?
Yeah. So when I started every week because I was expecting every other week, and then ended up getting so many interviews right off the bat that I was able to do it every week. And then I found out that Henry was coming, and I decided we needed to scale back a little bit. I went to more like every other week.
Okay.
And then Henry came, and I was like, y'all are going to get new episodes when you get new episodes.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to get back to a every other week schedule, but typically whenever it comes out on a Tuesday, and releases at 5 a.m. Eastern, so that y'all can listen to it on your way to work. But
it's interesting, man. Like whenever we talk to podcasters and we get into that realm of thing, I'm always curious, like when guys like release and what time and stuff, like, because we got the same thing. Like so we schedule our podcasts to release at 2 a.m. every morning. So that way those guys, like, whether you're listening to it while you're in the shower or getting in the car, going to work, things like that, it's there and ready for you. Like when you get up in the morning, like that was our same thought process. And it's interesting. Like, I don't think anybody that we've ever talked to, or I've ever talked to in the podcast realm of things, like has ever scheduled it like at noon or 5 p.m. or something. It's always like first thing in the morning. So that's cool.
Yeah. Whenever I first decided I was gonna go through with this, I Googled when the best time to release a podcast was, and it said Tuesday morning at 5 a.m. So that's what I did.
good old Googles,
Yeah.
the good old interwebs. That's cool. I've never even Googled that. I don't think. Like, it was just our thought process. Like, originally, back when we started, I think I made that decision. I was like, well, I'll just release it at 2 a.m. That way, like, you know, if some dude gets in the car at 4 a.m., it should be on all the platforms by then, and, you know, so on and so forth. So, yeah, it's interesting to, you know, talk to other, you know, podcasters, YouTubers, you know, live stream folks, you know, and kind of see like how they do their ins and outs of the podcast, man.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, y'all were the ones who introduced me to Anchor, and that has made it super easy.
Anchor
So-
owes us a lot of freaking money.
Yep.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna
they
say
do.
that right now.
Yes, they do.
With the number of friggin' podcasts that like we've helped get started on Anchor, like we should be getting some commission checks. Yeah,
There's even a
I
guy. at
agree.
work. He doesn't do fishing, but he does more. Born to speak? Yeah. His name is Calvin. He he's a professional speaker and everything.
okay.
And he was like, "Oh, what's a pod? Like, really? You can just?" I'm like, "Yeah, dude, just grab your phone. That's
Yeah.
all you need." And he started doing that, and now it's like he's doing all kinds of stuff.
Yeah,
You know, and he's making like money hand over fist.
Yeah.
And like, so Anchor totally helped him there. So
folks at Anchor, kiss. Never mind.
yeah.
Yeah, no, it's cool, man. It's very cool that we have these technologies nowadays. Like, you know, if you got something to say, you know, like you can put it out there
Mhm.
and the rest of the world to find. Jacob Farah. It's going good, man. How's it going with you, brother?
Yeah, and I'm thinking podcasting too. It's you know, I think even like with radio, they expect it to kind of way, and it's really stronger. You know, because I don't really think any kind of a talking platform is ever going to go away, because you can always do that without having to watch something.
This is like the quote of the century. Seems like such a nice guy. I've been spending too much time on KBN. Listening to him feels like a cleansing. Yeah, dude. I say, yeah, definitely stay. Stay
Oh
away
man.
I mean, yeah,
I mean, we love the KBN.
right. Like they definitely have a need and a purpose, but bro, don't spend too much time there. Sarah with an F. Farah. There we go. Jacob Farah. What's up, brother? Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, it's interesting, man. Like, so like how long I always love asking podcasters this question, like how much time do you spend like editing and uploading an episode? Do you keep it pretty raw, or do you kind of produce that a little bit more, or like what's your process on that, man?
So it's that time is shrinking. The longer I'm in it, but I end up spending a good time going through and making sure everything sounds good. I'm not quite as anal about it as I used to be, where I would go through into my editing software, and if like there was a big spike somewhere, I would go through and like with my drawing tool and actually smooth it out so that it
Look at you.
it wouldn't
No.
be too loud and stuff, make that pop sound. But yeah, the more I spend doing it, the less time I want to spend editing. So I still go in and get some of the static out and stuff, because recording off the phone, I end up getting a lot of it. But
Sure.
Yeah, I don't spend near as much time editing as I used to, but it still ends up being quite a bit with the sections where I'm talking by myself.
Mhm.
Sure.
I end up doing a lot more editing there. I made myself a promise whenever I first started, I wasn't going to censor people, so I'm not editing what everybody else says. But whenever it's just me, I'll go in and take out some of the really awkward pauses and the sniffles and the coughs and all that good stuff.
I totally get that, man. Like,
breathing.
yeah, I know. Jesus, it sounds like a dog, dude, not breathing. Like, I know what you're talking about, though, man. Like, I know I've done a few shows in the past where, like, my biggest issue when I first started doing this was I would always say, and like, I'm like, I need to cut that out. Like, I've gotten way better about it, but
Have you been listening to me talk?
yeah.
Everyone should do like a shot game with that. Every
Yeah,
time you hear take a
yeah,
shot.
yeah. I think there was a
Don't
joke
do it
about
when you're
that
listening
back
to
in the
me.
day.
You'll have to go to the hospital.
Yeah. It's cool though, man. I mean, I think like what I've always told guys is like keep it raw, man. People are there to listen to you and your content and your guests and things like that, and we keep things pretty raw. About the only time we have to like cut anything out is like if a signal's lost and like, you know, connection's bad or, you know, something like that. But
When Milford has to go to the bathroom.
ooh, I knew I was staying away from that. Milford hung up the mic, man. I've been kind of
I
sad
saw that.
lately. Been kind of sad lately. Crying myself.
Yeah,
to
I asked Jay who earlier who y'all are gonna have to pick on now.
Don't say it.
I plead the fifth.
Yeah. We'll keep that one. You know.
Brad Hicks says, when I first started, I used to say so at the end of my sentences. And I was just thinking about that earlier today.
Yeah.
I mean, we all have our like little goofy things, you know. Jay just doesn't say anything, so we're good.
If you
it works.
It works.
It works.
It works. Trying to keep
if
the
you want
editing down for you, bro.
Yeah.
if you want a really, really dangerous drinking game, take a shot every time I answer a question with "That's awesome," or or "Absolutely." One of those two things. Like if I say one of those two, I say it almost every answer.
People can say that with me. I say right on a lot. Right on. What's the other one? I don't even know.
Oh man, like
I got so many. I'm sure it's.
I dig it.
Yeah, I dig it. Yeah, that too. Yep. Nicholas Beltran said, "As long as you are yourselves, you'll be a show I'll watch," and that's how it is, man. You know, like I know, dude. I remember. I think it was last year. I was at a tournament. I think it was a KBL tournament up on Madison Chain. Oh, Jeff Happ chiming in, bro. You're supposed to have my back, not throw me under the bus.
There's a couple more.
But yeah, Brad Hicks said it's so hard to break those habit words like that. I totally agree. But I remember I was at this tournament and it was one of the newer guys. I think he was new to the club that year or something. And we were at the weigh-in and he's like, "You're Brian, that paddle and fin dude, right?" And I was like, "Yeah, what's up, dude? Like, how was your day?" And this and that. He's like, "No, I can't talk to you. Can't talk to you. You're big time, man." And like, I was like, "Come on, what are you talking about, dude? Like, let's have a conversation, bro. Where are you going? Like, I'm just some average dude." It's kind of funny, like being put in that position. I'm like, dude, I just want to know how your day was because mine was crap. I caught a bunch of small fish. Like, I want to hear about some stories, you know? But yeah, man, as long as yourself and you know, you just do your thing and be you. Like I had an interesting conversation today with on and he's starting a podcast and he's from West Virginia. He's doing like a live show a lot. And he's like, "Yeah, I just, you know, I feel like I need to have my notes and this and that." And I'm like, dude, like, I'm going to tell you right now. And this is a question for both of you. Like, I've done shows where I've had like lists of notes and then our normal shows, like we just have a normal casual conversation. And these shows go better than the ones where I have like notes and questions and stuff listed out. It just seems like that type of show is just so forced. And I see John get flustered because he's looking for his notes. I'm like, dude, just review that and let it be what it is, you know? And I think your show will be that much better and your conversation will flow that much better. You feel the same way?
Well, I mean, I think doing homework doesn't hurt, of course. I mean, I remember the early days, like we would have our questions and we would try to like segue into, the questions like kind of alternating, and that was kind of difficult sometimes because, to your point, the conversation would just start to take off in another direction.
Yeah.
And you try to like rein it back in, ask a certain thing. I mean, and I mean, with us, it's, this is your show, not ours, so
Right.
whatever you want to talk about, we'll talk about. But other than that, it's basically a normal conversation.
Mm.
And it seems to flow a little better without having, I guess, the structure.
Yeah. Yeah.
It just makes things a little more difficult.
Yeah, I used to have the list of questions ahead of time that I would ask everybody. And you go back and listen to my early episodes, you could definitely tell I was reading from a script. And I did some research, and what I found was the reason for that is whenever you're not listening to the person who's talking, you're studying that next question that's coming up and preparing for it.
Sure.
So instead of reacting to something they said or playing off of it or asking them to expand on something that would be really awesome to expand on, you end up like there's no flow at all. It's just okay, well, next question. As a matter of fact, I think whenever I was interviewing Chad Hoover, I literally said, all right, next question.
Yeah, but it's true. I mean, and I think what you're saying is true too. I mean, about that part is you're sitting on that question and it's just rolling in your head, and you're just like, I wish their lips would stop moving so I could ask this question.
Yeah.
So you're not really retaining anything, and you have no feedback, and it's taken away from, the organic, side of the conversation.
Sure.
But I think that's how everybody starts off though, because you don't know what you're going to do.
Yeah.
And I think
for sure.
I think having notes is like a rite of passage.
Yeah.
Because if you try, I've heard people because it's a train wreck too when people try to just wing it, because they'll be like, yeah, so it rained out by you, right? It's like, it's like you just don't know where to go. You get like these gaps that you're like, that for the most part, like hear that enough, you're like, all right, I'm uninterested, I'm moving on.
Right.
So that's in the back of your head. But yeah, I think now it's just like you do a little brushing up and you just kind of get a feel for the person, and then you just kind of, I don't know, we like the free flow of the conversation now.
Yeah,
it's just easier to do. It's a little more fun.
Well, and that's what I told old man Rap. I was like, dude, like, you got to understand. I was like, I've been doing this for over 3 years now. I said, if I told him today, I was like, go listen to the first episode and then listen to my episode I do tonight, and you're gonna be like, who was that guy? You know what I mean? And because you just don't know, man. It's a new thing. You're uncomfortable. You're trying to find your groove. I'm like, some people, they pick it up right away. Like some of our guys have been great. Like pick it up right away. Some of them, they, I always tell these guys, like, it's a little bit of a curve. You know what I mean? Like, you'll find your groove. Don't get discouraged. Like, just keep going at it, man. And you just got to feel comfortable. It's a public speaking thing. Like, I know in the back of my mind, back when we started, I'm like, oh man, what if Chad Hoover listens to this, or like some big wig at a kayak company or something like that. Right now, I could really care less who the hell is listening. I do care who listens, but like, like that worried like thing back in the back of my mind, and like now I don't even think about that stuff.
Well, think about it too. Like, we went from recording to live.
Yeah.
So now it's like there is no cutting. Like,
and I remember
editing.
And I remember when we went to live, and I think we finished that first show, and I was like, man, that was nerve-wracking. That was like doing the first podcast all over again, and now it's just like, whatever.
Yeah. And I think it's when like you set the limitations like within your own head, like, okay, don't swear. Let's keep it clean. Okay.
Jay's talking about himself.
Pretty much. Well, I mean, like, again, it's in my culture, man. It's it's the skateboarder, snowboarder in me. It's so easy just to let the F-bomb fly. But but that's the thing though. But you get used, again, when you're live, it's, I don't know. It's like you don't want to show that side of yourself, but like everyone's got that side.
Sure. Yeah. I mean,
I don't know if Cam does.
Well,
it seems pretty proper.
Yeah. But, well, we had that conversation, right? Like, trust me, like if there's any two guys that talks like sailors, like I think Jeff Hepp, who's in the chat, has probably said many prayers for both of us because we swear so much.
Yeah.
But
you know what, Jeff Ron, did you find yourself like really trying to watch your mouth?
I do.
Because you're just like, I don't want to swear like around him.
Yeah. Jeff's a very, very holy, straight up dude, you know? See, he just said amen. But like, you know, we talked about that before the show, you know, Cam was like, don't hold back. And it's like, no, dude, like we always try to keep our shows clean because we know like dads listen to the shows with kids in the car and stuff like that. Once in a while it slips out there, but like, you know, overall we try to keep it clean. I mean, we could, we love you too, Jeffy.
Yeah. Dude, I remember when I was in Salt Lake and I was really watching my mouth. Like, I mean, I just didn't want to offend anybody and say anything dumb, you know?
Yeah. It's one of
but
those.
I'll say, you know, as someone who's worked at a church, been a member of the pastoral team, you know, you can tell when people are holding back around you, and it kind of makes you uncomfortable too. Like, because it's like now it's like I'm the reason this person can't be themselves. So it's like, you know, if whenever someone started cussing like I wasn't there, it was kind of like this person's comfortable with me.
I think it's a respect thing though too.
Yeah,
right?
I think it's more respect than anything.
It's like, I mean, some people just don't want to hear that stuff, and I get it, you know. And the thing, you know, and I mean, there's that. There's some. I'm going to say like verbiage because I'm all out of words today, but you know, they say people who cuss, they say they tend to be a little bit more intelligent than other people. Sure. I don't know if that's true.
I don't know either.
Like, I got some pretty dumb moments. You know, this might be one of them right now.
Yeah,
I'm not sure. You know,
but well, speaking of uncomfortable, I'm going to flip the script on you, Mr. Cam Steele.
Oh, goodness.
I'm going to drill you with a couple of your questions that you ask all your guests on your shows. So, because you are Faith N Fishin podcast, what's your favorite Bible verse, my friend?
So Philippians 4, 6, and 7 says, I'm going to paraphrase here because it's been a while since I've quoted it exactly, but don't be anxious about anything, but pray about everything with thanksgiving, and make your requests known to God, and He will give you the peace that surpasses all understanding. So yeah, that one. That one's always meant a lot to me.
I like it, man. I love it. Brad Hicks says, love it. Good idea. Sean says, nice. I was waiting for this. I didn't even tell him I was going to do this to him. I don't know. But you always ask your guests, man, what's your favorite fishing story?
Yeah. So
wait a minute. Before you answer, I've been thinking about stealing this for our show. So is it okay if we steal your question?
It is. So the way I always word it is, what fishing story or memory means the most to you?
Oh, that's it. There you go. See, just run the show, bro.
So
it's your show.
It's your show.
That's the part that I really want to hear about is the what about it meant the most to you. And mine is a new one, man. A couple weekends ago, I got to take my nephew fishing for the first time, and he's almost 4. And you know, just seeing him light up whenever he caught his first fish was awesome. But I might have set an unrealistic precedent, seeing as how he caught a fish on his first cast, and his second, and his third, and his fourth, and his fifth.
Like,
and then he was done.
Throw this bug bait.
No, we were just, you know, soaking a little bit of night crawler under a bobber with a little hook, and like had a little push button Zebco, and I was like, just push the button, drop it straight down, and reel it up, and he had one. So
that's awesome.
It was funny. It was like I was telling him, whenever that little that ball goes under the water, you reel it on in, you spin the handle, and he started spinning the handle. I was like, not yet. And he pulled it up, and he had a fish on the end. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So he got to like 7 fish, and he was like, this is cool, man. So what's next?
It was like 15 minutes in. He was like, okay, I'm going to go play now. But next morning he woke up and told his dad, I want to go fishing. So was awesome.
That's
Yeah.
cool, man. I had a recent experience like that with my nephews as well. And it's funny because I, had them set up bluegill fishing. My brother was there, my sister-in-law. They're bluegill fishing. They're catching a bunch of bluegills. And then occasionally I catch a really nice bass. And like the two little ones, they're twins. They were like, the one didn't want to come anywhere close to it. He just pointed and he was like, big fish, and I was like, come up here, take a photo with me. And I've been sharing some of those photos. And the oldest one, Timmy, he was all about it. And so now I got him convinced. Every time they see my dad, they always tell him that Uncle Brian catches bigger fish.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. So that's great. That's great.
Yeah, you gotta like keep kids away from Game Boys and you got to keep them
iPads, yeah, all that crap. Yeah, no, it's great, man. I've loved it. Man, we've taken them out like 2 or 3 times now, and they just love it. Gas, man. Little like push button poles, like you're talking about. All of them just love casting. The oldest one, he just wants to keep casting. I'm like, dude, you got to let it sit. He's like, oh, I'm just going to move it over here.
He's a power fisherman.
Well, and he's funny, right? He's funny. He's caught onto the look. He'll see somebody else catch a fish, and he's like, Uncle Brian, did you see where they caught that? Because I'm going to cast over there now. Like, he's a spot stealer. He's a spot stealer. So watch out, man. Boys and girls. Yeah, it's hilarious, dude. But no, that's super cool, man. I love it. What's your most memorable fishing story?
What is, I would say it's when Seth caught.
It's not with me. Show's over.
Nope.
I'm out.
Yeah. No, I remember we were fishing from a paddle boat. I used to live at this place out here that has a nice lake. I mean, like your average bass is like a 17-inch bass.
Yeah.
You're kind of spoiled there. I mean, there's like 30-inch walleye, there's 12-inch crappies. There's just all the fish are just huge in it because you can't keep anything in there. Anyway, we were I was in the paddle boat with both the kids when they were younger, and we're talking like 6, 7, 8 kind of around there. And they I remember Jared had got like his line caught in the tree, so we're in the shade, and I had already told Seth, I was like, hey man, like all these bass are hanging out in this shade, off the side here. I was like, if you drop the worm down there, like you should catch a fish. And they both got like 3-foot, rods,
little push button rods.
Yeah. So I'm like, standing up in the paddle boat, getting Jared's stuff down, and then Seth's like, he said, Dad, I got a fish. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm like, yeah, no, you don't. He's like, no. And I look, and his pole, it's like,
just doubled over.
I'm like, oh my God. So we get the thing up, and I actually have a picture of it. It's on Facebook or something. But this is an 18-inch fish.
Yeah,
that he caught in the shade.
That's awesome.
And he's like, I did what you told me.
I did what you told
I was like, the one time he actually listened to me. And so then there's like, it was a huge fish. I mean, he's got his mouth open with this thing, and this thing was huge, like, in comparison to him. But it was just such a funny time because he'll still bring that up.
That's awesome. That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Yeah, my son brings up the time I took him to Lake Geneva and big smallmouth lake in Wisconsin, and we're using creek chubs on a circle hook with a split shot like a foot above it, and you would just like kind of drag them through the weed flats. And it was in fall when they were putting on the feed bag, and this smallie just came shooting 4 or 5 feet out of the water. I mean, just tail dancing, and the look on his face, he was just like, like laughing and giggling, like that was awesome, like I'll never forget that, man.
Man, that's awesome.
Yeah, gas, man. It's super cool. But yeah, man, we're kind of winding down here, man. Anything else you want to let the good folks out there know? Shout out anybody, any of that good stuff, my friend?
Yeah, absolutely. So I already mentioned my sponsors and guys I work with, but want to give them a shout out again. Save Your Outdoors, Jade's Jigs, and Get Outdoors Pedal and Paddle. Yeah, so you can follow the podcast on Instagram. It's at It's at Faith N Fishin Pod. See, that's the kind of thing I would normally edit, right? It's
No live,
Not
man.
this time.
not this
The
time.
interwebs forever.
But yeah, so it's at Faith N Fishin Pod. The Facebook is at is Faith N Fishin. There's a website you can go to. It'll be easier to follow the link tree that's here on the screen. You can't see it, but it's the just linktree/Faith N Fishin. But yeah, it's a free website, so it's a long one. It's faithandfishin.wixsite.com/podcast. But yeah, I also want to make sure I shout out, my wife and my son, Caitlin and Henry. They're awesome. You can check out Caitlin's pottery at Porch Dog Pots. She is just unbelievably talented at everything she tries. So she's an awesome potter as well as an engineer.
We got to stop right there. Does pottery. You ever reenact the ghost scene? The scene from Ghost? Just come up behind her and mold the pot with her. Come on, you know you did it. You know you did it.
We're not going to talk about that.
She'll be like, you ruined another one. Stop coming into my special space.
I don't know why, man. I hear pottery and that's what I think of, man. The scene from Ghost.
I mean,
that's your wife. I mean, come on now.
Hey, I mean that I get it. That's the first thing I normally think of too. But yeah, so also you can go to follow that link tree again and go to the merch store. So you can follow it from the website, from there, on Instagram, whatever. But what I'm going to do is, so this podcast goes up tomorrow morning, right? So 2 weeks from tomorrow, I'll have it expire, but use the promo code PaddleandFin, and you get 20% off of anything in the store. So,
Nice.
So it's a limited time offer, but go for it. Yeah, we've got logo shirts. We've got quotes from some of our guests, like just make being a good person a priority.
Is Brad Hicks' famous quote, or
I don't care.
I don't care.
You know,
that's his thing. That's his I don't care.
I don't care.
I don't care.
You know, Brad doesn't have one yet. But if
I'm
I
telling
tell him
you,
that,
if
he
you
probably
come with
would
a shirt,
say, I don't care.
Yeah, if you have a shirt that says I don't care, Brad Hicks,
Yeah.
gold, platinum,
Yeah.
platinum. You will retire in less than 6 months.
That's awesome. But yeah, so Brad does have one of the shirts. He won it, and so make sure you do that. And the only other person I want to say thank you and shout out to is God, of course. But yeah, absolutely.
Amen, brother. Right on. Awesome, dude. This has been a good one. I enjoyed this.
Indeed.
I feel cleansed now too,
I'm
and
still
seduced
dirty.
by Cam's voice.
I'm still dirty.
Yeah. Oh, we know that. We know that. Dude, we appreciate you, brother, taking the time out.
Thank you for having me.
That good stuff, man. And yeah, if you ever have anything coming up, man, just feel free to reach out, and we'll get you back on here and spread the good word and all the good stuff. I know Jeff Hepp's over there on his phone hitting the subscribe button right now on your podcast. I don't
Absolutely.
know how he's missed that. Come on, bro. You said he'd be checking out his podcast. I think I'm already on the Facebook page. Dude, Jeff Hepp.
Oh,
Good old
speaking of the Facebook page, we've got a Facebook group that's just called Faith N Fishin. Just the main thing we do there is just I ask every week, how can I pray for you? How can we pray for each other? And we pray for each other. So yeah, go ahead, and it's just the Faith N Fishin group. Check that out. Join the community.
Right on, dude. Very cool.
Sweet.
Jeff said, great show, guys. And then he put a little jab in there at me. Right on. Brad Hicks, good show. Sean Lowry, Cam, you're a good dude.
See, that's
You're a
clutch.
good dude
That's
too,
clutch.
Sean.
Yeah, yeah. He is a good dude. He is a good dude. I like Sean Lavery.
Yeah, he's all right.
Yeah. Sean
was
is
a-
actually the last person I've had on.
Yeah,
so.
that's where I heard it. I was listening to Sean's episode with you, and that's where I heard "Learn from My Mistakes." That's
Yep.
what. I was listening to that this week. See that? Supporting both of you guys, man. I like it.
Doing a great job, Brian.
I do,
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Do what I can. Do what I can.
Where would everybody be without you?
Sean was very. So the first time I met Sean Lavery, he was much taller than I had envisioned. He's kind of a skinny dude, works out, does all that stuff. I thought he'd be like, 5'6". He's like 6 foot tall.
Is he?
Yeah, he's tall.
can't
He's
remember.
pretty tall. He's pretty tall. Just saying. Guys and gals, thank you for tuning in this week. We appreciate all you. Go check out Cam's podcast. It's great content, man. It's we touch on a lot of things about his show that he does that are very unique, and we appreciate you, man. Appreciate what you do, and throwing some. Oh, he's 5'7".
I told you, dude.
No, he was taller than that.
No, he's not.
Maybe it was when he seemed taller because he was one step ahead of me when we were carrying Ryan Milford up to bed that one night.
Oh, that one night. Oh boy, so many stories.
Oh man,
I miss Ryan.
I know.
Damn you, Ryan. But no, man, it's great. I love it. The fact that you brought your two favorite things together, man. And I think you do it right. And it's good, dude. I love it. Love the contact. Keep it up. If there's anything we could do to help, let us know. And
awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem, man. Jay, final thoughts?
Live long and prosper.
At least he had something this week.
There you go. Nice.
All you boys and girls out there, thank you very much. We forgot to mention the event for this weekend on the Fox River. We did cancel. Water levels are super low. Not very many signed up, so we rather than just having a few people out. Sorry about that. Next event will be end of August, Toledo, Ohio. I believe it's August 28th. That's on the Maumee River and Lake Erie. So get ready for that. ICAST was amazing. Some good things are in the works for Paddle and Fin. So get ready. That's all I can say. Till next time, boys and girls, as always, tight lines, smooth paddling.